In class, we discovered with several different science models, and one of them was the light sensor shown in the picture. The stick with blue caps on either end is the light sensor, and it was connected to the computer. And as we shone a light, such as a flashlight, onto this light sensor, the graph on the computer would show the strength of the light hitting the stick. You could also hold the light sensor to different colors of paper featured in the back behind Brianna, and as you did so, it registered different levels of light coming from the different colors of paper. This is very useful when teaching students about the color spectrum and also light and how it works, and it's very engaging because it's very hands-on and students are involved in discovering, and you can just give them the materials. You don't have to tell them how to do it, and they could just play with them until they discover their own pattern, which makes it very engaging because they're participating in inquiry. It's very effective because students will remember it more if they are involved in the process of discovery. It might not be quite as efficient though because only small groups of students can use it at one time and have it be very effective, but you can also use it as a whole class activity where the teacher models. The activity or model shown in this picture is a motion sensor, and we used it to trace the amount of kinetic energy in objects moving to and away from the black sensor that's on the table. Again, that one's hooked up to a computer as well that graphs the movement shown in front of the sensor. And we did several things with this. We held the sensor in front of us and walked towards it and away from it, and we laid it on the table and then bounced balls under it, and you could see how the different types of balls, some of them bounced higher and had more motion than other types of balls because of the material they were made of. This activity is very engaging because students get to be kinesthetic and move themselves and connect things that they do in their everyday lives with real science and graphs. And it's efficient somewhat just because it takes something abstract and puts it in a concrete form for them. But also, it's hard to really connect what the sensor is measuring to a science topic that's elementary school level appropriate. And finally, it's not super efficient just because only two students can be using the motion sensor at a time actively. Um, and it wouldn't necessarily work as well as a whole group, but you could still do it, so it's all right. One of the apps I found for an iPad was called Molecules, and it is an interactive three-dimensional um, model of different molecules there are. You can use your finger to scroll around and see all different angles of the molecule, and there's also a color key that shows you what colors are what type of material, atom. And there's also a spot where you can switch and see different molecules. The one pictured is caffeine, and it shows you the number of atoms it has and all sorts of different things, all the different types of atoms it has too. And you can discover with many different kinds of molecules. It's very engaging because the students can manipulate the molecule and find out so many facts about it and make their own. It's efficient because it's very concise in the way it labels the molecules. It might not be as efficient though because it doesn't have a very big variety of molecules that they can discover. So that limits them in a way, and that also affects its efficiency. But overall, I think it's very efficient because it's very user-friendly and easy to maneuver around the app, and it's also very fun, which makes it more engaging. The next app that I found is actually my favorite app. It's called 3D Brain, and it's very similar to the Molecule app in the way that it's three-dimensional and you can manipulate the screen around to see all different angles of the brain. But what I also like about it is it shows all of the different sections and structures within the brain, and you can click on the Structures tab and see any sort of system within the brain that you want to, such as the cerebrium and the frontal lobe, and it just highlights each of those different parts of the brains very specifically. You can also um, have the app put labels on it, which in the picture it's showing the cerebrium label. And there's also an information tab, which whichever part of the brain you have pulled up, it gives information about that part, which is also shown in the picture. This is very engaging for the students because they're learning about their own bodies, their own brain, what they used to think with. And again, it deals with kinesthetic movement as they use their fingers and move the brain around. And it's very interactive in the fact that they can just explore within the brain and see all the different parts of it. It's very effective, I think, just because there's so much information on here that gives very specific details about things that you would study within the brain. And it's also very efficient because it's so user friendly and very easy to navigate. And I think it's a great resource for the class.